Hello, and welcome to Kiara is having a crash out in Australia. I'm joking, but I'm also not joking. I literally physically need to express all the jumbled thoughts going on in my brain right now. And the only way that feels appropriate is filming another YouTube video. It has been a hot minute. I now have this big fuck off mic next to me. Thanks, Mum. Mum wanted to start a podcast. One of her ideas, I'm going to start a podcast about this a few years ago, and it did not come to fruition. And it's so funny because I was literally telling myself, I was literally saying, like, I'm just having the desire to film YouTube videos again. And I was like, shit. My MacBook videos that I made back in the day had awful audio quality. So I was like, I want to get a mic. And then the next day, my mom was like, hey, I have this mic back from when I wanted to start a podcast. Do you want it? And so that is the story of how I have this very aggressive looking microphone here, but I'm very grateful. Anyway, this is going to be a little bit rambly all over the place as first video back. A lot of stuff going on in my mind. A lot of emotions being felt since coming back home temporarily just for the holidays, but I've been here nearly 3 weeks now and I'm definitely crashing out. I definitely had a crash out this morning. So I think that if you are creative, if you are someone who needs to self-express, if you go too long without self-expression, you will go crazy. You will reach an eventual crash out. So, doing myself due diligence in making this video for myself so I don't go insane. And I typically am a writer, but I just go through phases where I cannot get the words out onto the page because there's just too much shit going on up here. So let's try to untangle some of those thoughts together. Well, not even together. I'm going to try to untangle some of those thoughts for myself. Okay, so I guess to start with, the last few months, I mean, if I'm going to be real, the last 6 months have been a blur to me, and a blur in the best way possible, because for so many years I was living in this existential, depressed, dark hole. And so 2025 was really the year that I broke out of that. It was the year that I really started to live my life again, and lots of good things started coming to my reality the more that I literally just started to live my life again, take action, be out in the world, make mistakes, be messy, and sort of get over my own bullshit and start creating a life that I genuinely want to live. So much good stuff has happened in the last 6 months, and kind of good thing after next good thing. And don't get me wrong, there have been days or moments where I don't feel great where I do feel a little sad or a little down or overwhelmed or anxious, but I think in general, my emotional baseline has improved so much that, like, even if I have an off day or a shit day, I just kind of like rise back up to the surface. I kind of come back to that baseline. And God, I just feel so grateful for that. I feel so grateful because I genuinely felt like horrible. Like, I don't even want to say like wanted to do because like I didn't, but like looking back, I'm like, how did I not want to do you know, like I generally was so sad. I was so sad and could not like bring myself out of that depression until 2025. So yeah, holy shit, I've created an entirely new reality for myself, or entirely new baseline from which I get to experience my life, myself, my reality. And I feel like last year I also did so much work on myself in terms of like getting my confidence back, like getting my sparkle back, whatever. But it's not that I feel like I'm a completely different person. I feel like I'm more myself than I ever have. And like when I was feeling really depressed or down, or like, yeah, in that existential hole where just the clouds were like, I didn't feel like myself. I know who I am is actually a very joyful, light, bubbly person. Like, I am an optimist. I've always been an optimist. But for a couple of years, I really fed into this narrative that, yeah, I was a nihilist, or that there was no meaning or purpose to life. And I think actually what those years taught me, being so low, being so down and depressed, was that shit, the thought is already leaving me, but some of the things that I learned during that time is that we need, okay, this is the thought. We do need purpose. We need purpose in our lives to give us like a will to live. You know, like during those times of being so deep into waiting, radical human design, being like, I'm just waiting for life to happen to me. You know, nothing to do, nothing to plan. I just trust the invitation, blah, blah, blah. Like, that didn't work for me. That shit did not work for me. And I literally disconnected myself from my spirit, like literally my sense of like aliveness, my life force, my like emotional spirit. I was so disconnected from that. And I was so disconnected from purpose because I told myself, you know, purpose is generated by the mind, or like some bullshit like that. But I also learned, like, I think a lot of people dream of being, you know, unemployed or not having to work a day in their lives again. It's like, oh man, like the dream to just like, I don't dream of labor. I don't dream of work or career or that kind of stuff. And I mean, I've always been really career driven. I don't know if it's career driven, but like, yeah, it's like that feels like my thing, like purpose. I really do want to like lead from that space. Like, I feel like there's some people that their whole mission in life is to like fall in love and be in a relationship. And then there's other people in life who was like, my whole, you know, thing is to get really successful, make a lot of money, and like be, you know, successful in their career. And I definitely fall into that, which, you know, I think both, if you obsess over both, or like whichever camp you fall into, like either one is not healthy. if that makes sense. But anyway, I definitely have always been more like purpose, career, money driven, whatever. Um, but yeah, okay, so I see so many people, or like I've come across on my like algorithms, like whatever, that that I don't dream of labor, or like, I wish I was my unemployed friend on a Tuesday at the beach, or, tubing down the river. And I can recognize how privileged and lucky I am that I got to spend like a good chunk of time not working and being kind of like unemployed, being a bum. No, I don't judge myself for that time. But living this very radical projector life where I didn't work at all. But what I noticed for me during those years is that didn't feel good to me either. Like did not feel good. That's all I can say. Like that actually made me very depressed to not be working and to not have a sense of purpose, to literally give all my power and autonomy away to life and the universe. And well, like, okay, I'm just waiting for an invitation to give me permission to start living my life. I can't, go out and get a job because that would be my mind initiating. And like saying this stuff out loud is actually ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous now that I'm out of that mindset, but that's genuinely how I used to think. I used to think that me getting a job was me initiating from my mind. Me coming up with ways to make money was me initiating from my mind. Me trying to decide on a direction to go in was me initiating from my mind. And like, oh, like I have to wait for the body to move. The body just moves, blah, blah, blah. And I got myself into such a state of analysis paralysis that I was like frozen in time. And coming back to like the point I'm making is that it actually felt awful for me to not be working or to not like have a purpose. And when people say like, oh, I don't dream of labor, I don't dream of having a job, I don't dream of having a career, like I applaud that, but I think that's not the point. I think we all need a purpose to live for. And I didn't have purpose during that time. Like I do need goals. I do need a vision. And no, you don't have to mentally hold onto it so tightly. But I think the point is not to like never work a day again. I think the point is like, are you able to live a life that brings you fulfillment and a deep sense of inner purpose and contentment? And like this, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's this like undercurrent that's like this frequency. I know frequency is so overused, but it's this frequency that lives under the surface of you and your life of like, yeah, I like, this is the life I'm meant to be living. And I think for so many years, I felt like I was living a life that wasn't mine, that didn't belong to me. And I felt further and further away from who I am. And it really took 2025 to like start to come back to who I actually am. So all that to say, 2025 was a really big year for me in breaking through a lot of patterns and stories. And I was talking about confidence. I'm naturally a very confident person. Hate me, I don't know. But I think for me, like, I really had to reconnect with that center of confidence that was just like layered on top with stories, insecurities, beliefs. I just had to, flick, 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 peel that shit away. So I did a lot of that in 2025, and I feel really excited about 2026 in building and continuing to build and like create my life from this new baseline, right? This new like emotional baseline that I've created for myself. It's like, okay, what can happen from here when like a lot of the heavy hitting beliefs are like stripped away. Sip of my cold coffee. So good. So good. It's like we're having a heat wave in Sydney. It's 35 degrees today. It's going to be 40 degrees tomorrow. Okay, so 2025, good year. Good year in terms of up-leveling. The last 6 months, so much has been happening, and like this is what I understood theoretically about expansion, but did not viscerally experience that until the last like 3 months, the last couple months, 6 months, I guess. Like, when you expand, it feels uncomfortable as fuck because you're getting more input and you have to handle that. You are changing patterns, you are changing your reality, you are changing the way you live your life, and that feels fucking scary. It feels exciting, but it's fucking scary because you're doing things that you haven't done before. You're living life in a way that you haven't lived before. You are showing up differently, and that's bringing new circumstances, new people, new experiences, like just a lot of newness into your life. And yeah, I mean, like, it's cliche. It's cliche. It's talked about a lot that, when you expand, it's like, can your nervous system hold this new level of expansion because you're letting more into your aura. I also remember I used to be really into Kundalini yoga, still go back to it every now and then for a Kriya meditation, but yeah, I remember it would also talk about strengthening your nervous system and strengthening your aura. I love the way it describes the aura, but yeah, so you can hold more in your physical reality, because when you expand, that's what you have to do. You have to let go of old ways of being, and you have to open yourself up to a life which has more. And that's what we're all like, this is speaking for the collective here, but I mean, that's what most of us are seeking, right? We want more. We want more money. We want more love. We want more friends. We want more experiences. We want more material items. Like, and again, maybe another episode we can talk about the excessive pursuit of more, because that could definitely be a neuroses. But in general, we want to expand because we want more. But you have to be able to hold more. And my crash out today, and honestly the last few weeks, I've been having like, I feel good, but I'm also, there's a lot going on. I've been like holding so much more, and I also haven't really been prioritizing myself or my I haven't been feeling very grounded the last couple weeks, and it's because I've been sort of, I think, saying yes to too many things and people, and it's the classic story of overriding our own boundaries And like it's a very subtle thing for me. Sorry, my light. I need to change that. So my anyway, tech thing. But yeah, I think I really need to get better at boundaries. And like when I talk about this, like when I talk about boundaries, it's like I'm not even blaming other people. Like it's a me thing, right? Like when we start to feel angry or resentful or exhausted, it's because I'm not respecting my time and energy. And I guess to go back to like the expansion piece, I think when you expand, you also have to get clearer. Like, I'm just putting this together in real time, but okay. You have to get clearer on your boundaries when you expand because you're getting more invitations, more people, more experiences, more opportunities, more things coming your way, right? That's what expansion is. And then you have to get almost like solid and like, nope, don't have time for that. That can work out here. Like, yeah, you do have to be more solid in how you spend your time and energy. And I know, like, yeah, it does take a little bit of discipline. But discipline that ultimately is better for my sanity and mental health and creative spirit, because I've definitely noticed as I've been sort of spreading myself thin the last couple months, I have really struggled to create. And I think like as I started this video, without consistently creating and self-expressing and like putting these feelings and thoughts out there, I actually do go crazy. I actually do have a crash out because it's like I'm so filled with stuff. I'm so filled with all this like emotional data and like experiences that like if I don't have a way to process that, I either mentally spin out or emotionally just go like, oh, ah. That is kind of how I feel right now. I definitely think I tend to push myself a little bit too far to now I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't want to see anyone or talk to anyone for the next 2 months. Like, I'm on D&D, I'm on Do Not Disturb, don't talk to me, don't call me, don't text me. We're locking in to taking care of myself. Like, it's actually crazy how much I've begun to love routine and structure. And that's another thing that I learned during my days of unemployment and having no purpose and having no structure to my life. And I genuinely told myself, I'm a quad right. I have all these arrows to the right. Structure's not good for me. I hate routine, blah, blah, blah. I need to be able to be in flow. But yeah, again, that shit did not work for me. It made me feel incredibly dysregulated and literally like out of my body. And the last like 6 months, as I've really started to develop more of a routine, yes, I'm expanding and I think I need to dial in that routine even more. But I think the importance of routine and structure is it does calm you, center you, ground you. Like, yeah, I felt the worst that I've ever felt in my life is having no structure or routine. And like now, like also part of the crash out. How many times will Kiara say crash out this video? Take a shot. Joking, but also, but part of the crash out as well is that I haven't been in my routine. And like, of course, I'm like on holidays, I'm traveling, there's adjustments that are going to be made. I'm not going to have the same routine as I do back home. It's also Christmas, the New Year's, like, you know, yeah, it's holiday season. So that's expected, but it genuinely surprises me how much I look forward to getting back to my routine. And I'm not going to lie, I'm definitely hitting my breaking point where I'm like, I'm so excited to go home. And it's crazy that, like, Santa Fe, where I'm living now, like, it's my home. When I'm like, I need to get home, I want to go home, it's like, I'm thinking of Santa Fe, which is, like, kind of incredible. Only, again, the last 6 months, I'm like, oh, this is my home. This is my home. And it's a weird experience to be in Australia, in Sydney, like the place that I grew up, and I'm like, this is not my home anymore. And I'm grateful for, you know, to be able to come back for the first time in 3 years and to catch up with a lot of my childhood friends and family friends and, like, do all the things. And I'm also grateful, so grateful, you cannot believe, that I don't live here anymore. Like, it was absolutely the best decision of my life to leave. And I knew that, like, forever. I knew that I wasn't supposed to live here. And yeah, I guess, like, if you also feel that way about the place that you're living, your town, especially your hometown, but wherever you're living, like, listen to that. That was definitely my inner being, my inner authority, my intuition, whatever you want to call it. The thing inside of me that knew this is not my place and you need to get the fuck out of here. Okay, I actually have so much more I want to talk about. Who knows? Maybe we're going to do daily videos. I, like, am kind of obsessed with this setup. But I'm going to leave this vid here. But expect more ramblings and rants coming to you soon. I am really excited to talk about some of the things that I've been learning the last year. I've been getting so into law of attraction and reality transurfing, and that's kind of where my heart is currently. I also can talk more about my experience in human design, where I'm at now with human design. I definitely still use it, but I use it in my own way, and I have my own perspective and take on it. And I can also share, pitfalls and what I learnt the past 7 years experimenting with that system and where I'm at now with it. But yeah, I also want to talk about the tools, the things that I have been learning recently and the last year, which I just feel really passionate and excited about. So let's leave this here. Follow me. Oh my god, no, don't say that. You can follow me on Instagram, Mystical Heretic. That's where I'm usually posting. Sometimes I post on Substack, also Mystical Heretic. So yeah, if you want to follow some of my writing, you can check it out there. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Happy 2026. Let's go. Bye.